Hey, can I ask you something? And I need you to be really honest with me. Have you ever felt it? That deep, persistent hum of otherness. It's not loud, more like a subtle vibration in your bones, a constant background frequency that makes you feel like you're watching the world from behind a one-way mirror. For the longest time, I felt like I was navigating a world that wasn't quite built for my soul, as if everyone else got the instruction manual for life at birth, and mine got lost in the cosmic mail. It's this profound sense of being an observer, not a participant, and man, it haunted me for years. But I'm here to tell you something that completely changed my life. And I think it might change yours too. That feeling isn't a flaw. It's not a bug in your system. It's a sacred signal, a call from your higher self, whispering that you're vibrating at a different, much rarer frequency. If that just sent a shiver down your spine, then you've found a safe place here. This is a journey we have to take together. So do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. Let the universe know you're listening. And drop a comment below. Just 3 simple words. I am not alone. Trust me, you'll want to see what happens when your tribe starts to find you. I remember sitting in meetings or at dinner parties, feeling like I was watching a play. The conversations felt like scripted performances, hollow rituals. I could see the frantic desperation people tried to pass off as ambition, the crippling fear they masked with bravado, the gut-wrenching loneliness they called social success. It's like I had X-ray vision for the soul. I could see the tangled web of unspoken truths, the authentic emotions people bury so deep, they forget they're even there. Sound familiar? And here's the most painful part. The part that took me decades to unravel. I was conditioned to believe this perception was a defect. For years, I was trapped in a loop, constantly asking myself, what is fundamentally wrong with me? People told me I was too sensitive, too intense, that I overthink everything. But what if I told you that all those criticisms aren't criticisms at all? They're just descriptions of an incredibly rare and powerful form of consciousness. I mean, what if a brilliant mind like Carl Jung actually identified this exact thing in people like us? Something so unique that most people go their entire lives without ever experiencing it firsthand. This isn't just some personality quirk, my friend. This is a level of consciousness so profound that its very existence can feel like a threat to a world built on illusions and polite fictions. You're right on the verge of a massive breakthrough understanding that your difference isn't a flaw. It's your divinely encoded frequency. Once you get this, I mean really get it in your bones, everything will click into place. Every moment of exhaustion, every sting of isolation, your soul's deep, unshakable intolerance for anything superficiality will all finally make sense. But I have to warn you, you need to take a deep breath right now, because what I'm about to share with you might just shake the very foundations of your reality. Once you see these patterns in your own life, you can never unsee them. And once you understand how rare you are, you can never go back to pretending you're ordinary. So, let me ask you, are you ready for that kind of truth? Are you ready to finally meet the real you? The first sign is what Jung called a dangerous perception. And if you have it, you already know what I mean. You don't just see people, you see through them. Their words might be saying, everything's great, but you can see the flicker of panic in their eyes. You can feel the subtle dip in their energy that screams a completely different story. It's like their soul has its own frequency, and you're one of the few who can tune into it. You hear the quiet desperation behind their success stories, the profound yearning they can't put into words. You instinctively pick up on what's not being said, and it's always louder than the words themselves. That's the first sign. You process reality at a spiritual depth that would honestly break most people. Think about it. The last time someone told you about their amazing new relationship, didn't a part of you feel the chilling loneliness they were actually trying to escape? This ability, my friend, it isn't something you asked for. It's a divine instrument you were born with. And because no one ever taught you how to use it, it's probably been slowly and silently tearing you apart. Here's the thing that Jung understood so clearly. When you see this much, you become a walking mirror. And trust me, nothing terrifies people more than seeing their own reflection when they're not ready for it. You know that weird tension that can suddenly fill a room when you walk in? That's not in your head. That's the collective unconscious of the people around you, recognizing that in your presence, their carefully constructed masks start to crack. Your authentic frequency asks a question they can't handle. Why are you still pretending? And since they can't face that, they do what people always do. They make you the problem. They call you too intense or too serious, because your reality is too real for them. But you can't be normal, not in the way they mean it. For you, being normal would mean betraying the truth. It would mean participating in the great collective delusion. It would mean abandoning the very divine gift that makes you, you. This brings us to the second sign, and honestly, this one used to hurt me the most. You're spiritually allergic to superficiality. Small talk isn't just boring. It feels physically painful, like nails on a chalkboard for the soul. Those casual friendships, the ones built on convenience and surface-level chatter, they leave you feeling more alone than actual solitude. Your spirit doesn't want chatter. It craves deep, meaningful communion. You hunger for conversations where the masks come off and souls can actually meet. Jung nailed this when he said that rare personality types like ours live in a constant state of existential tension. We're trapped between worlds too awake to fall back into the dream, but still too human to fully escape the noise. It's a lonely place to be sometimes, being a bridge between two realities. And here's the shadow side of that beautiful allergy. The very depth you carry is what often isolates you. While your soul is starving for a gourmet meal of authentic connection, most of the world is perfectly happy with emotional fast food. They want comfort, not truth. Validation, not growth. And your presence, your light, it disrupts their comfortable slumber. When you can't, or more accurately, won't engage in the shallow games, they see your authenticity as a threat. How many times have you lost a friend or ended a relationship not because you did anything wrong, but because you just couldn't pretend anymore? You couldn't laugh at the meaningless jokes. You couldn't stand the soul-sucking gossip. It's not about being pretentious. It's about spiritual survival. For us, superficiality isn't just boring, it literally drains our life force. Now, you've probably noticed something else. A weird phenomenon you couldn't quite put your finger on. This is the third sign. You absorb everything. After being with people, do you ever feel an exhaustion that goes way beyond just being tired? A heaviness, like you're carrying weights that don't belong to you? Well, that's because you are. You're an emotional alchemist, my friend, unconsciously taking in and transmuting the psychological junk of everyone around you. That sudden wave of sadness that hits you out of the blue, it might not be yours. That knot of anxiety in your stomach, you might have picked it up from the person next to you in line at the coffee shop. This is why you crave alone time so fiercely. It's not because you're antisocial. It's because you need to go into your sacred space and sort through the energetic static to figure out what's yours and what isn't, just so you can hear your own thoughts again. But here's the brutal truth, and it's a trap I fell into for years. This absorption can become an addiction. Why? Because when you're drowning in everyone else's emotions, you don't have to face your own. When you're the designated healer, the counselor, the strong one, you get to avoid the terrifying work of healing yourself. I did this for so long, until one day I woke up and had a chilling realization. I knew the intimate landscape of everyone else's soul, but my own had become a foreign country. And that, my friend, is when the real battle begins. Not with the world, but with yourself. Because when you have this kind of rare nature, you're living with an internal split that tears you apart every single day. This is the fourth sign, and it cuts right to the bone. You're fighting an invisible war. It's a war between your true, authentic self and the version of you that the world can handle. Jung understood this fundamental split. Your true self in all its intensity, its depth, its radiant power is just too much for most people. So, what do? We fragment. We create the professional you, the social you, the family you, all these carefully crafted masks, and every single one is a small betrayal of our soul. Every time you dim your light to make someone else comfortable, you abandon a piece of yourself. And this split creates real symptoms, the kind doctors just scratch their heads at. That chronic fatigue that sleep never touches. That's your soul, exhausted from a lifetime of performance. That random anxiety. That's your authentic self, screaming to be set free. You're not mentally ill. You're spiritually suffocating. But here's what your soul is desperately trying to tell you, the secret that Jung unlocked. The very thing you've been hiding is your greatest gift to the world. Every major leap forward for humanity came from someone who was too sensitive, too different, to accept the status quo. That's your purpose, but you can't fulfill it if you're living in pieces. The exhaustion is a sign that this way of living is unsustainable. Your body knows it, your soul knows it, and deep down, you know it too. But something else is happening, something almost magical. As you live with this split, your true frequency is still broadcasting, sending a signal out into the universe, and there are others who can hear it. This brings us to the most mysterious sign of all. You recognize your own kind instantly. It's not logical, it's a soul-level recognition. You meet someone, and within seconds, you just know. It's a frequency match, a feeling of, oh, there you are. I've been looking for you. Jung called it synchronicity, but it's more than that. It's like a secret antenna tuning into a sacred broadcast. When you find someone on your wavelength, your whole system lights up. Masks dissolve. You share things you've never told anyone, and they get it. These connections are rare, but they validate everything you've always known. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're just rare. And rare recognizes rare. The final sign is the most profound. Your greatest wound is your greatest gift. Jung saw that people like us often carry a sacred wound, a deep psychic injury from childhood that becomes the source of our power. Maybe you were the kid who felt everything too deeply, who saw through the family's happy facade. That hypersensitivity that made you a target. It's the same sensitivity that now lets you see the truth. That isolation you felt, it forced you to build an inner world so rich it can sustain you. Your wound taught you to see in the dark, and now you are destined to become a lighthouse for others. This is the ultimate alchemy. What breaks you open is what lets the light in. What wounds you is what awakens you. So, here we are. You've recognized the signs. You feel that relief of being understood. But recognition is not the same as transformation. You can know you're rare and still spend your life hiding. Jung said the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. For us, my friend, it's not a privilege, it's a responsibility. The world doesn't need another person pretending to be normal. It needs you, in all your intense, complicated, glorious authenticity. The path isn't easy. Some people will leave, but the right people, your true tribe, will find you. Your real life, the one waiting beneath the masks, is ready to begin. Your sensitivity is your superpower. Your intensity is exactly what's needed. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out. And now you know why. Welcome to your real life. Welcome to your frequency. Welcome home.